It's fantastic. We could talk longer, but we have a treat in store because we actually are going to get the musical Astronaut before you leave our shores tomorrow. But can I just point one thing out, is that when you came down, in June last year it was, you landed in Kazakhstan. In July, you announced that you would be retiring from the Canadian Space Agency. And so I would add my voice to Nick's, who asks a question, but I would say it's a plea. What would you say to the Australian government in order to encourage them to expand their space program and add astronaut training to it?
Every organization, start at the family level. Everybody's familiar with individual finance and family. How much of your monthly income do you spend on everything? And you need to decide, right? How much do I spend on food? How much do I spend on health insurance and health care? How much do I spend on frivolous things? What's the right balance within my family? And of course, the city here has to do the same, and Victoria has to do the same, and the whole country has to do the same. So at a federal level, what is the right amount to spend on health and welfare of everybody and on transportation and infrastructure, but what is the right amount to spend on research and development and inspiration? And someone told me that the turnaround of leadership in Australia right now, on average, is like every 2.5 years, or maybe 3 years. It's a 4-year cycle, but it's not a guarantee. So it's really difficult to convince any political leadership that is just fighting to stay in power that they should commit to anything that takes longer than 2 or 3 years, because they don't get any return from it. It's really hard to convince them. But in Canada, where we have similar political confusion, there's a subset of people that recognized we have to inspire our young people to something that is beyond what existed for us. And it ends up, when you put it into family budget kind of terms, it ends up being extremely inexpensive. For every $1,000 the Canadian government spends, the Canadian federal government, we spend about $240 on health and welfare, and we spend about 3 cents to have a Canadian astronaut program out of every $1,000. And that Canadian astronaut program has led to 8 Canadians flying in space. It's led to inventions. Back a long time ago, we built a little tiny robot thing on the side of a satellite that became patented, that allowed a company to form called SPAR, Special Projects and Research. SPAR got the contract to build the big robot arm for the space shuttle, and they made a fortune. They made billions of dollars building 4 big robot arms. And then when we were building the International Space Station, that same company got the contract to build the huge robot arm that's on the International Space Station. And Canada didn't pay to be on the space station. We just built an arm. The money was spent inside Canada, and we gave the arm to NASA, and that was our ticket on board. That allowed me to be a commander of the International Space Station because we'd spent the money in our own country. But more importantly, that same arm, the technology that went into developing that arm, is used in robots that are in hazardous applications, in mines and in nuclear power plants and in bomb disposal. And in a hospital in Calgary, there's an arm, 2 arms that are based on the robot arm on the space station that does brain surgery, uses the same software and the same offset joints. And the surgeon sits in a next room with hand controllers and operates, and the robot arm doesn't shake when it has too much coffee. You know, it's dead still, and it's super precise. And you can put the patient and the robot inside an MRI machine so the surgeon can see exactly what they're doing in 3 dimensions. And that is all one long continuum of financial success for the country and inspiration of our kids to pursue things. They don't, you know, I'm good friends with Andy Thomas. He's a classmate of mine. Andy wanted to be an astronaut, and because he grew up in a country that didn't have an astronaut program, he left. He voted with his feet. He moved to the United States because that was the only way that he could pursue his dreams of doing something. And if you don't give people opportunity where they are, they'll go where their heart takes them, where opportunity exists. And so you have to provide that. And I think the way that Canada has done it for 3 cents in every $1,000 the federal government spends is a really smart way to do it. So I think you just need to build the right case to convince. And it's not up to the government. The government is just us. It's just our elected officials. It's up to each person individually to just raise a voice and say, you know what, we're missing the boat. We should be part of that, and we should stop having our people have to leave the country in order to do things that are right on the edge of possible.
Andy has been a wonderful astronaut, but there are many more that come. Very final question, on your way over to the guitar, what out there, 'cause it would make it too easy if it is on Earth because you've got children and stuff, what out there is the most beautiful thing you've seen?
The most beautiful thing I've seen, I've been just so lucky. I mean, I was there for the birth of all 3 of our kids. That's both beautiful and heinously ugly at the same time. But a beautiful event. Sunrises. You're in the darkness. You're looking at the stars, the glow of the horizon, the lights of the earth. But you're going so fast that you race around the world, and suddenly the whole horizon, just faster than you can describe it, starts to erupt in color, as if someone was pouring a rainbow onto it, and it just gets the whole horizon comes alive with color, and then bursting out of it is the sun in just a matter of a few seconds, and you feel suddenly the heat. There's nothing at all between you and the sun except a little layer of plastic, and so you get the direct, instantaneous, multispectral color of the sun and a blast of life-giving heat from the sun as you race around the world, and then the sun pulls away from the world and you're back in daylight. And that happens every 92 minutes on the space station. I tried to miss as few of them as I could. I kept sneaking down, setting my watch for another 90 minutes so I could watch the sunrise again. It's maybe the most memorable and beautiful thing.
Chris Hadfield, thank you for coming and telling us of the wonders and marvels out there. Won't you thank him as he goes?